Naruto's hair would be long in fashion, and he would have it down, not spiked up. He would kind of just brush it down. Eventually, his hair learned to just stay that way, and that's how Naruto likes to keep his look. He also just likes to wear a basic, plain black hoodie with black pants and, the casual, shinobi like slides that they have, like the sandals or shoes or whatever, right? And Naruto sits in the classroom, and from here they would just have to sit there and wait for Kakashi to arrive. Now, when Kakashi does, they would do their introduction.
Definitely.
Would proceed to, just go out and leave the area, considering that his introduction would simply consist of, I have a dream to become powerful and control my abilities to save the world. And from here, Sasuke's, he's still an emo, and Sakura, she's a trash bag, so, and, they continue on with their days, right? They all go off and they try to do their own things, and depending on who they are, it would depend on what they do. Naruto would go off on a mission, a very, very quick one, indeed, which would just be delivering a scroll, something he could do between nighttime, come back, get a couple of hours of rest, considering that the team captain is Kakashi, and so he would do that. The next day after returning from the mission, Naruto would be tired, so when Kakashi was taking his time arriving and they had like an extra 3 hours before he got there, Naruto just passes out by a tree stump, as eventually he would be awoken by Kakashi, who would wave in front of him and be like, Naruto, Naruto, and from here Naruto wakes up as he's like, and Kakashi's like, alright, good, you're awake. As from here, Kakashi goes on to explain the rules of the bell test, and eventually, Kakashi would just say, go, as Naruto, instead of just standing there and,
I can't say the goal. I'm that bad.
Naruto would do one thing differently. He would just stand there, right? He would not rush at him, but he would also just stand there, right? Now, Naruto looks straight at Kakashi and thinks to himself how he should handle this situation. But Naruto's just like, whatever. And from here, Naruto goes on to pretty much look at Kakashi and say, I hope you're able to, keep up. And from here, Naruto grabs his blade, as it would be a short sword, one similar to the one that Kakashi had back in his Anbu days, as Naruto rushes into Kakashi, and Kakashi takes out a kunai as they clash, spinning blades with each other and clashing over and over and over in Naruto-esque fashion. Eventually, some distance would be created, as Kakashi would shoot a fire-style jutsu at Naruto, which Naruto would jump over only to shoot a wind-style bullet, right? As the bullet would hit the ground, leaving a small crater, and Kakashi would dodge out of the way, as he would immediately rush back in and they would clash once more. Naruto, as of this moment, would hold his hand out, as he creates a black hole that would pull Kakashi back, but he would close it before Kakashi could be torn to shreds, right? And Kakashi would be like, as he doesn't think about that, right? He realizes that Naruto did that on purpose, right? Like, he didn't want to kill him, because if Naruto truly wanted to, he could have just opened a powerful black hole and just sucked Kakashi into it, just destroying him, right? But because Naruto doesn't fight that way, he only used that to throw him off guard. Eventually, Naruto would open a black hole in front of him, which would actually be interesting, because black holes don't affect Naruto. They don't pull him, or they don't repel him, right? And so, when the black hole would get open, Kakashi would get flung towards that direction without being able to control his body, and he would flail around as Naruto rushes in, simultaneously grabbing the bell and closing his palm, leading to the black hole closing, as Kakashi lands on the ground with sweat coming down his forehead. Naruto grabs both bells, tossing them to Sasuke and Sakura, and saying to them, we did it, guys. As from here, Kakashi would just be like, bro, like his life just flashed before his eyes. How else can I put this? And Kakashi's just on the ground, breathing heavily, thinking to himself that Naruto is truly a monster, like a monster that he, unlike anything that Kakashi thought he was ever gonna have to see in his life, right? It was crazy to him. But what would pretty much end up happening from here is that Naruto would end up finding himself in a strange situation, because now, once Kakashi wakes up, Kakashi would think to himself that while Naruto is powerful enough to be a Jonin at this point, the other team members didn't do a thing. Sasuke didn't even come down and, at the very minimum, shoot a fire style. So Kakashi thinks to himself that maybe they might not be allowed in class. But Naruto did give them the bells and was willing to go back to the academy for them. So ultimately, Kakashi ends up passing them and truly does tell them the whole point of this exercise, which was, drumroll please, teamwork, right? He tells them the truth of this exam, and it was teamwork, and they're all like, oh, I guess that makes sense, right? And from here, Kakashi would go on to pretty much tell them that for this time, he's gonna just let them pass, but next time, it's not gonna be so easy, you know? He's like, next time, I'll stump you for sure. Tell me if you guys get that reference. Like, I used to watch a bunch of PBS as a kid, so you know, you might get it, you might not. You know, you might not be old enough. But anyways, though, what would end up happening after this is Naruto would end up finding himself back at Ichiraku Ramen, right? He's eating a bowl of ramen, and Naruto's just staying kind of like a little bit more on the melatonin, quiet, like just casual anime protagonist, and just cool and silent mode. And you know, he just says to Ichiraku, "Can I get another one, please?" As Ichiraku cooks him up, and he's like, "So Naruto, you know how you've been?" And Naruto's like, "Oh, you know, I've been good." And from here, he's like, "How about you?" And you know, Ichiraku would be like, I've been doing great myself. Naruto's like, that's good to hear. As he slams money on the table, it would actually be a lot more than, it was actually supposed to be. And Naruto walks off as Ichiraku's like, wait, you forgot. As Naruto's like, keep the change. And he just walks off with his hands in his pockets. Naruto's walking through the town as a bunch of girls will begin whispering, laughing, and smiling. As they look to Naruto, as, you know, they're all just like saying to each other within the friend group, oh, he's so cute, right? And Naruto just goes home where he would lay all of his stuff down, go to sleep, and again, he has that dream. Naruto hasn't been able to kill somebody with the Black Hokage Genkai ever since the day that the day that he, you know, saved his Anbu members. But he knows that day will eventually come. And Naruto's scared of it because Naruto, as much as he has killed now because he's in the Anbu, he doesn't want to kill in that fashion because every time he does, he feels like he's killing those kids all over again. And that's something that has haunted Naruto every single day.
Trash Star Wars! That's what you get for dinner when you mean.
Sasuke,
Stupid!
Sakura, and Kakashi. Now they would be inside of the office of Hiruzen, and Hiruzen would pretty much just be flipping through a desk. You know, he has a stack of papers in front of him, and then he puts them on the desk, right? Then he takes a hit of his pipe just to make this a little bit more realistic, you know what I'm saying? And then he proceeds to say, Team 7, Kakashi, I have one question for you. Okay, there's this, or this.
Don't get the ball to the ground.
Did you know you can save hundreds a year on groceries at Aldi?
It's true!
It's not a sale. It's an Aldi thing.
For you today, and that's the only reason I brought you guys in here. Kakashi's like, what is it, Lord Hokage? And from here, Hiruzen says, you guys have completed 3 weeks worthy of D rank missions, and you still haven't asked for a C rank or B rank mission. Do you not think your team is quite ready for that, or what seems to be the issue? And Kakashi would say that none of his squad members have actually said anything, so he figured that, you know, it didn't really matter.
Are they in a team or in a party or something?
Hiruzen stated that that's pretty
I just hope I have an actual good
teammate.
Yeah, they're definitely in a party.
That he himself is a Jonin, and
okay.
Naruto has levels of strength comparable to that as well. He thinks that they're ready for, at the bare minimum, a C rank mission to B rank mission. And so, he has actually assigned them to a C rank mission to escort the bridge builder Tazuna back to the land of waves. Kakashi, once hearing that, would think to himself, oh, alright, that's fine. And the team would then nod, you know, with Sakura thinking, finally, I've been wanting another mission. And Sasuke just thinking to himself that, you know, he's actually also been wanting another mission. With Naruto not really complaining, considering that, you know, he's already been on hard missions, you know. And as much as it is boring to capture cats and walk old ladies down the street and, you know, get people's groceries, it's not worse than having to travel for days and days and days and days and weeks to try to complete a mission. So Naruto was actually just fine with it, but whatever the Hokage says is what he's gonna do. And so the team would pretty much end up preparing themselves for the mission of escorting Tazuna back to the land of waves. And what would pretty much end up happening is we would get a fast forward to the day where they're all meeting at the you know, the village gates, right? Now the journey starts just like every other journey, and about 30 minutes into their walk, they would actually be ambushed by the Demon Brothers, right? Now obviously it would start off with Genjutsu that the Demon Brothers would have placed, creating a puddle, you know, to make them think that there's nothing there, and then immediately rushing towards the direction of Kakashi, right? Now they turn to shreds in the eyes of the team, except for Naruto, who would have known that Kakashi substituted himself. And what would pretty much end up happening after this is that Naruto would rush in there knowing what it's like to actually deal with these threats, and would immediately grabbing 2 kunais would just slash in the air. Now both Demon Brothers would fall straight to the ground as if like their entire movement and time just had stopped and just flat. Like, could you imagine watching somebody run towards you and then just straight out of nowhere it just stops and they fall onto the floor? Now, when they hit the floor, it would have made a loud thud, and suddenly you could see blood just dripping out, right? Now, Sakura would have had to look away to keep herself from throwing up, and Sasuke would think to himself how Naruto was able to do that without breaking a sweat. He was able to do that, like killing somebody, and made it look so easy. Sasuke would think to himself that Naruto's just like him. And he would think back to his brother Itachi and the Uchiha massacre, but he would continue on with the mission as Kakashi would end up arriving and would tell Naruto that he should have let them live, to help the true purpose of this mission. Then Naruto goes, oh, the true purpose of this mission? That man right there is lying. He points to Tazuna, and Tazuna would be like, what? What do you mean? And Naruto would say, you've been lying ever since we got to the village, and ever since you put the rank of this mission in. I know that you don't have enough money to pay for this, and how do I know this? Because nobody would end up asking for an escort mission with a C rank level of difficulties if Demon Brothers were going to be coming after us. These two have been on the bingo book for a while, and I thank you. This is going to make up for the commission that I wasn't going to get, but that doesn't excuse the fact that had I not been there, this might have gone completely different. You need to not lie next time, but for now, seeing as myself and Kakashi are here, we can complete the mission easily. And from here, Tazuna would rest easy knowing
how did I get that goal?
But he's just gonna still complete the mission regardless, just because he knows that this man needs to get to his village. Naruto would then go on to ask Tazuna why he needs to get to the village in the first place, and Tazuna would tell him the true sob story of what it is that Tazuna is doing, right? How he's the main bridge builder, and how Gato is some sort of drug lord gangster that is pretty much making a lot of money off of the trade market, and how building the bridge would, take a lot of money away from him, but it would also enrich his village, seeing as it's impoverished and stuff like that, right? And Naruto, hearing all this from Tazuna, would realize that, Tazuna, even though he didn't go about it the right way, he has a pure motive, so Naruto respects it. And Sasuke and Sakura, hearing this, would both eagerly also respect, Tazuna, because he's not doing anything wrong, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to save his village at the end of the day, so what are they gonna do, not protect him? Anyways, though, they would continue on with the mission, and what would pretty much end up happening after this is that Naruto would end up pretty much finally sensing a strange presence, right? Now, this is when Tazuna would be like, what's going on? Like, why are we stopping? This team just stops, right? And then Kakashi would say, duck! As everybody so in a gigantic sword would just
I think I was lucky, but I don't know.
But Tazuna's sword, or Zabuza, we know that this is Zabuza, but Zabuza's sword would pretty much come flying in, and it would hit a stump of a tree, right? Now, Zabuza stands on top of the sword and would stare daggers at Kakashi. As Naruto,
I feel like I would make
himself that's Zabuza Momoichi, right? And, Kakashi would look onto him as, Zabuza says,
I barely got a single piece of food.
Kakashi, the copycat ninja and all that stuff. And from here, Kakashi and Zabuza's battle would go down just like it does in canon, right? Except Naruto would simply be watching this and be on standby in case Kakashi needs any sort of assistance, right? And so what would pretty much end up happening is we would get the same OG fight with Kakashi still getting captured by Zabuza. However, this time around, once Kakashi does get captured, Naruto would be the one to tell Kakashi how he could have been so careless, right? And Naruto begins to start running on water, right? As Zabuza sees it, and he's like, Genin shouldn't be able to run on. As Naruto would get closer and closer and open a black hole in front of Zabuza, which would pull him away from the water bubble, causing Zabuza not to be able to keep
I love how it just come back,
which would give Kakashi enough time to get out, breathe, and then get back into combat stance. And now Zabuza's in the middle of a very, very not so good jumping session, right? And Naruto from here looks to Zabuza and says that he didn't exactly pick the best fight ever, right? Now Zabuza looks to both of them as he grabs his sword and would say that he's gonna finish his mission, whatever it takes, as he would signal, Haku! And from here, Haku would end up pretty much making his presence known as he enters the battlefield and in the direction of the kid Naruto, with Zabuza saying, handle the brat. And Zabuza turning his attentions towards Kakashi. Kakashi, as Kakashi would activate his Sharingan, and from here they would both begin to fight strong, the same way that they would fight Kanon. However, as this is happening, Naruto turns toward Haku, as Haku would throw a Senbon at Naruto's face, which Naruto would dodge easily, and then rush in as he takes out a sword and would try to slash up at Haku, which would end up cutting some of Haku's hair, as Haku would kick Naruto back, and Naruto would use his black hole ability to actually shoot a black hole up in the air and hold his sword up, as the sword would begin getting dragged up towards the black hole, and Haku's Ice Dragon attack would have actually shot at Naruto, right? Like Haku would have formed an Ice Dragon with the water, and the Ice Dragon would shoot at him, but Naruto creates a black hole up above, holds his sword up, and the black hole begins to suck Naruto's sword up fast, so that Naruto would be able to dodge, close the black hole, and mid-air would look down onto Haku, as Naruto would say to himself that this is it. He creates a black hole behind Haku, which would actually suck Haku in and Naruto's sword, and once Naruto would gain enough momentum to get closer to Haku, Naruto closes the black hole and would blitz at Haku with such tremendous speeds that Haku would get stabbed straight in the stomach, right? And Haku would begin coughing out blood, as Zabuza has to watch that but can't do anything since he's still fighting Kakashi, and Naruto would simply look onto Haku as he would say, "That was a good fight." And from here, Haku kind of realizes that he could have died regardless. If Naruto truly wanted to, he really could have just opened a black hole right next to him and Haku would have been dead. But Naruto didn't kill him like that. And that's the thing that Haku would say. Haku would say, "Why?" And Naruto would answer, "Because I don't kill with that ability." And from here, Haku would just fall, die. This time, there's no time for him to, end up using his body to protect Zabuza, and Zabuza would get killed by Kakashi. This means that both Naruto and Kakashi get to share those bounties of the Demon Brothers and Zabuza and Haku, and they would actually end up making quite a good, respectable amount of money off of this, right? They're profiting pretty good, right? And what would end up happening after this is essentially they find themselves in the house of Tazuna a couple of hours later, as Kakashi would be the one who has to rest up, and Naruto would actually be the one in charge of Team 7's training. Now, Team 7 training under Naruto would be a little bit weird because of Sasuke wanting to train under somebody his own age, but, I think that it would go something like this, right? Where they arrive at Tazuna's house and, they meet Tsunami and, they start having dinner and stuff like that. But I see Inari being the bratty little kid that he is, telling them that, they have no hope in, defeating Gato and his men. And, Tazuna would then speak up and be like, "Well, just so you know, Haku, I'm almost positive that we'll be fine this time around." That, he would then say that Naruto and the man that's laying down actually ended up defeating some of the strongest men Gato could throw at them, so that they'll be safe.
He just touched it barely, and then he just took the goal.
Kind of be crying and brushing upstairs, thinking to himself that, they're gonna lose, because as much as he believes that they're ninjas and all that, he's seen his favorite person ever, his fake father, die to Gato and his men, right? So he doesn't believe anybody can beat them, right? And so what would pretty much end up happening is after they eat dinner, Naruto would go outside and Team 7 would follow along. As what would end up happening is Naruto would tell them that they need to train harder, right? And so what would end up happening is Naruto would tell them about tree walking. And so, Sasuke would be like, "I'm not going to train under you, you're the same age as me." But Naruto would say that it doesn't matter what age I am. If somebody younger than me was more powerful than me, I would actually shut up and listen to them. I don't have enough pride in myself to think that I'm better than everybody else like you do. Just because I was born the way that I am doesn't make me any better than anybody else. That still means I have to train just as hard. And from here, Sasuke, begrudgingly, he kind of just accepts what Naruto said, right? And Sakura, she's like, "Okay, Naruto, fine, I'll listen." And what would pretty much end up happening is they end up learning tree walking in about 2 days. Now, Sakura picks it up on the first day in a couple of hours, but Sasuke learns it in 2 days, considering the fact that, he doesn't have Naruto there to rush into wanting to learn it in 1 day. And so Sasuke would end up learning it in 2 days, and after that, Naruto ends up teaching them a little bit of combat strike abilities, where, he ends up creating a couple of formations to actually increase Team 7's productivity level, right?
The way I hit
these formations, right out of the books of Anbu's training methods, right? He would train them in the ways of the Anbu. As Sakura would be taught about how good chakra control is, and Naruto medical ninja who can help them out when it comes to if they were to ever get injured. She can either be a genjutsu specialist, considering her chakra control is very, very good, or you know, she could just simply not be a ninja or something like that, right? Like he's just kidding about that last one. But Sakura's like, huh? You know, she'd be shocked at what Naruto just said to her, but Naruto just, you know, he kind of smiles and she realizes, oh, he's kidding, right? And what would pretty much be happening from here is Sasuke would actually be a lot stronger when it comes to his taijutsu, and he actually would end up learning a couple of attack combinations alongside Naruto, where Naruto would rush in, being the distraction, throwing kunais, and Sasuke jumps up above and would shoot a fire style, right? Like, fire style, great flame destroying jutsu, you know what I mean? And like, Naruto just dodges out of the way and the fireball comes in like crazy. And then there's even another one where Sasuke learned to actually use the momentum of the gravitational pull of Naruto's black holes to actually formulate an attack, right? Where Sasuke thought that it was actually really awesome, right? And Naruto and Sasuke would begin getting slightly closer. I'm not going to say too close just because Naruto's not the person that he was in the original, and so that's kind of going to be putting a little bit of a halt onto their friendship, but nothing too crazy that, you know, can't be fixed, you know what I mean? Yes. And so what would pretty much end up happening is eventually
Fair peasants, please wait patiently.
I'm pausing the video that talks. I know. I can't believe I didn't save that.
The arrival of our noble alliance. Sorry, buddy.
Nothing too crazy that, you know, can't be fixed, you know what I mean? And so what would pretty much end up happening is eventually 2 weeks would pass, Kakashi would get healed, and eventually another week would pass, leading to them all just watching Tazuna building the bridge, right? And one day Gato would arrive on a ship with all of his men behind him, with Gato saying, "You can't do something right, you gotta do it yourself, right boys?" As all of the men that would be surrounding Gato would say, "Yeah, boss." And from here, Gato would say that Zabuza and Kaku Kid were really not strong enough to defeat these runts. 3 kids and a Jonin, seriously? You know what I mean? And from here, you know, all those men would laugh. And Kakashi would simply think to themselves that, you know, like, they were very, very much so formidable, and that if Naruto wasn't as strong as he was, that entire fight could have gone an entirely different way, right? But what would end up happening is ultimately Sasuke looks at Naruto, nods, and he would say, "Formation 6!" And from here, Naruto rushes in, and Anbu hearing, you know, Kakashi hearing that remembers his Anbu days, right? As, you know, Naruto rushes in with a kunai, and then, you know, like, he jumps away, and, you know, Sasuke would be able to jump up into the air and just be like, "Fire style, great flame destruction jutsu," as he shoots a gigantic fire style jutsu right at the direction of Gato's men.
Yep.
And behind those gigantic, like, fire style would be left just ashes, straight ashes and burned bones, and it would just be disgusting. But just know that after that happens and all the team has to witness that, you know, Kakashi then from here goes on to pretty much use a water style jutsu to clean up the bridge and keep it from burning too badly, right? And so what would pretty much end up happening is that Sasuke would actually end up having defeated all of those men, and eventually the bridge would be dubbed the Great Naruto Bridge, just because Tazuna was actually really like the kid Naruto a lot more than Sasuke, and Naruto was the strongest of the bunch. That was the one who ultimately led them to surviving that attack between, you know, Zabuza and Haku, right? And so what would pretty much end up happening from here is Team 7 returned right back to the village, and they would actually be informed about the Chunin exams. However, they don't get informed by Kakashi, but instead by Hiruzen, who, you know, would have actually told Naruto, and Naruto would have told the team earlier once, you know, they ended up bumping into the Team Sand, right, from the Sand Village, when they ended up watching Konohamaru kind of get picked on by Kankuro. Now, Naruto, being Naruto, would still save Konohamaru, but they don't have the same bond that they do in the original. He kind of only saved him because he knows that Hiruzen is his, you know, grandfather, right? And Naruto, knowing you know, the Hokage, he's like, I don't really want a full-out war to start just because you hurt the Hokage's grandson, you know. And so he saves him.
Left and
And
joined
pretty
back.
much happened after this is they would kind of begin to get into a standstill where they all
He's
look
like,
at each
"Oh,
other.
I'm
You know,
mad.
they're getting
I'm
ready to
not
fight,
anymore."
but Naruto calms the situation down immediately. And he would immediately de-escalate things, being like,
Why do we always
Sasuke,
go to
relax.
team?
They're here
Why
on
do we always
official
go to
village
the team?
matters. The Chunin exams are right around the corner. That's the reason that they're here. And it looks like to me that this kid right here got his nose into somewhere where he doesn't belong. And from here, you know, Konohamaru, he kind of just looks away and he's like, and Naruto would just say, like, don't
Yes,
worry,
sir.
Konohamaru, like, I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
telling Hiruzen. And from here, you know, Konohamaru was like, yeah, you better not tell the old man. Naruto looks at him and, you know, Konohamaru is just like, oh, okay, I get it, bro. I'm gonna be quiet. Like, you got it, big dog. You know what I mean? And so what pretty much ended up happening after this is Naruto goes on to pretty much make his way towards his house, where he would simply just, you know, relax, train, go to sleep. And from here, what would pretty much end up happening is Hiruzen ends up actually sending Naruto on a solo Anbu mission. A mission that pretty much would pretty much be
Come on,
to
kid.
assassinate the
Yes, sir.
what's his
Yes,
name? What's his
sir.
name? What's his name? To assassinate a rogue village, a rogue hidden, a rogue. Why is it so hard for me to talk right now? I don't get it. Pretty much the mission would be to assassinate a member of the village that betrayed Konoha, and this member would actually be a Hyuga who would actually have some very formidable strength, right? But would have ran away, and he wanted to pretty much sell some of the Hidden Leaf's information, right? And, you know, Hiruzen, he's not having it, so he sends Naruto off to try to, you know, capture him and stuff like that, or, you know, kill him, right? And so what would pretty much end up happening is that in the dead of night, Naruto ends up having to go after this man, and he would use his tracking abilities, which he would have used in the Anbu, to immediately end up catching up to this man, as this man would activate the Byakugan and say that he does not wish to fight him, right? And that he just simply wants to escape the Hidden Leaf Village, that place is not fun, like it's a lot darker than it seems. And, you know, Naruto would simply look at him and say that it doesn't matter how dark it is, that that's still his home, and he can't abandon the Hyuga village or go and, you know, pretty much be the reason that the Byakugan gets out there, right? And so what would pretty much end up happening is that man would say, you don't know what they've done. The Uchiha clan, they were wiped out by and, you know, right as he's about to say that, Naruto would just be like, enough, as he throws a kunai straight at the throat of the Hyuga clan member.
No, he got.
And
He told me to
what
get
pretty much
that out of
happening is the Hyuga clan member uses the rotation ability and would say, if you're not willing to listen, then I'm gonna have to take you down to find my own freedom. And from here, Naruto looks at him and would simply say, you can try. They immediately start the battle off by rushing in at each other, and Naruto, not wanting to waste any time whatsoever, would throw a kunai straight at the direction of the Hyuga clan member, and a black hole, like a pretty decent distance away, that would actually cause the man to get sucked in towards that direction, not being able to control his movements, because his arms, legs, and body are literally all getting dragged to one singular point, and the kunai itself would also be getting, like, pushed that way, right? So the Hyuga clan member can't dodge at all. He can't form the rotation or anything, and Naruto's kunai just went straight to the direction of the Hyuga clan member's throat, right? And so immediately Naruto, like, turns on the black hole and off. Like, I don't think you guys understand how fast Naruto does this. Like, black hole on, black hole off. Like, it's literally instantaneous how fast Naruto has to do it for these movements to work. Because if it was like 3 seconds, the people would already get sucked into the black holes. But what would end up happening is, because the kunai's trajectory would be so on point, the kunai would end up going straight through the guy's neck, or so Naruto would think. But because this member is a Hyuga clan member, he's able to see everything happening and would slightly be able to move his neck out of the way, causing for his neck to pretty much start, like, getting nicked, and, like, for a little bit of blood to pretty much start dripping out a little bit, but nothing vital got hit. He would proceed to hold his hand over his throat and be like, you don't understand, kid. That village, it's keeping dark secrets. As, you know, from here, you know, he starts stumbling and the blood just starts, like, spouting out everywhere, and Naruto just watches as the member just falls onto the ground, and Naruto would think to himself that, you know, it's not for him to decide whether it's dark or not. And, you know, Naruto's like, I hold dark secrets, but, you know, that doesn't mean that people get to call me dark or anything like that. And so Naruto just thinks to himself, it's whatever. He grabs the body and takes it back to the, you know, back to the village, knowing that the Chunin exams is the next day. Eventually, what ends up happening is Naruto finds himself in the Chunin exam's tower, right? And when he does, Naruto actually would end up walking towards the direction of a Genjutsu. Now, Naruto, knowing that this is a Genjutsu, would easily be able to dispel it, telling his, his team members that this is a Genjutsu, and they're all like, oh, right. Like, Sasuke just acts as if he knew. Sakura's like, yeah, it's Genjutsu. Like, I knew that. Like, Naruto, of course I knew that. And, from here, what would pretty much end up happening is afterwards, they end up making their way towards the direction of the real room, where on their way there, they actually get encountered by Rock Lee. Now, Rock Lee would be looking at Sasuke and would be like, Sasuke Uchiha, I wish to fight you. You are the Rookie of the Year. And from here, turns to Naruto and says, and you, I do not know who you are, but you seem very powerful. And, Sasuke being like, yeah, like, I might as well, show this little bushy-browed kid what's up. He's all like, yeah, sure, like, I'll fight you. And what would end up happening is Sasuke gets absolutely folded. Like, this man, Sasuke, gets embarrassed. Bro literally gets his ass beat in front of the girl who likes him. And then that same girl proceeds to reject the guy who beat Sasuke's ass. It's crazy, but it happens. Like Lee took an ultimate L here. Like, he literally beat the bro's ass and then still got rejected. Like, bro, she really loves him. Like, that's how you know Sakura loves him. Like, bro literally got beat up in front of her, But regardless, that's not for me to decide. But anyways, what pretty much happens after this is they make their way towards the exam room and they pass. Okay, I really don't like this part. It's really cool to watch because it's like, wow, it's like really interesting, the dynamics of the Chunin exams test part. But to explain a test, that's boring. And I know you guys don't want to hear that. So skipping over to the area where Anko comes crashing in through the window, she's like, all right, maggots, you guys all need to line up and get together. Meet me outside. And, all of them go outside and, Anko begins to explain the rules of the Chunin exams. And from here, right towards the end, she's all like, all right, sign these real quick. And everybody's like, what are these for? And Anko just goes, oh, these are just some slips to pretty much say that if you guys die, then we're not liable. And some of the contestants would be like, hey, yo, like, what do you mean if we die? Like, we can die? And she's like, yeah, but, you can still not participate if you want. So a bunch of the people who are like, yo, I'm not trying to die, they end up stepping out. And those are the smart ones. Because imagine being like a filler character.
किट्टो ने बहुत अच्छा हेल्प किया बिल्कुल रोते हुए गए थे और ऐसे लग रहा था जैसे
Imagine being like a filler character and not stepping out, right? Like me personally, I'm stepping out too. Like I would be in such a bad mood if I ended up encountering somebody like Gaara or even Team 7, right? Because number one, Gaara, he's crazy, he's bloodlusted. Number two, we also got Orochimaru there. What if he encounters me and tries to like touch me or something? And then we got Sasuke with a curse mark, who's probably gonna go crazy and try to break my arms. Like I'm good off that, bro. I'm good off that, little bro. But anyways, what pretty much ends up happening is they make it into the forest, right? Naruto goes off to take a leak, right? Like we're good so far, right? I haven't lost out. I probably lost him. But anyways, like they're pretty much doing their journey, right? And what ends up happening is like they eventually like all like split up, and a gigantic snake just comes rushing in at Naruto, right? Now this snake is massive. Like this snake is literally the same size as something big that I have, right? It's like pretty big. And that would be my desk, right? Like I have a pretty big desk, but that's besides the point. And what pretty much ends up happening at this point is that the snake will rush Naruto, right? Now Naruto is like, I'm not dealing with this, and he just like immediately black hole on top of the snake. Now this black hole sucks the snake in, and some trees that would be there in that area would get sucked in as well, right? And this snake would just proceed to get like literally eaten by the black hole. As that black hole would grow massive in size, and Naruto just closes it. He closes it immediately. And from here, bro literally just wipes off his stick, his meat stick, and he makes his way back towards Team 7, where once he's there, he notices that another ninja would be trying to get their scroll. Naruto, as soon as he sees this, would think to himself that, they're just going to take him out, and then they can go on with their day, right? And, Naruto just thinks to himself, alright, look, you have one or two choices, buddy. You can either give us your scroll, or I'm going to have to take you down. And Orochimaru would laugh as he's looking at Naruto, who just doesn't even look very remarkable whatsoever. But Naruto, he's like, alright, like, I literally told you.
Get that ball out of here!
And immediately, a black hole would appear behind Orochimaru, which would be which would start sucking him towards the direction.
Whoa.
And Orochimaru would try his absolute hardest not to go there, but he's getting dragged like a doll, right? And Orochimaru is like, what is this right? And he pretty much has to substitute to make it out, as Naruto would pretty much just watch and be like, how did he escape that? Like, only high-level ninjas would be capable of substituting out of that situation. Like, not even Kakashi, you know what I mean? And from here, Naruto's like, who are you? Like, you're not on the level of a Genin. Like, no Genin would have been able to survive that. Not even the one from the Sand Village probably would have made it out of that attack. And Orochimaru says, I don't know what that was, what kind of Kenge Genkai or Jutsu that was, but I must have it. And he licks his lip and then looks towards the direction of Naruto, which Naruto's just kind of like looking at Orochimaru. As from here, he lunges at him, right? Like, regurgitating the sword out of his throat as he's lunging at Naruto. And Naruto, you know, he pretty much holds a black hole on top of Orochimaru and on the bottom as Orochimaru gets ripped in half. Like Naruto, as soon as he saw the sword action and all that stuff, and like the just the creepiness of this individual, Naruto just knew that this was Orochimaru and that he was not going to be winning this fight if he didn't use that black hole ability. So Naruto knows, like, you can't mess around with an S rank level shinobi. Naruto, like, he had no other choice but to use the black hole, and even though Naruto didn't want to, because like I said, he doesn't like killing people with it, Orochimaru was one of those rare exceptions where Naruto had no other choice. Orochimaru would literally get torn in half, and Orochimaru has no way of answering to this. Like, Orochimaru literally was ripped from bottom to top. Like, the gravitational force was so powerful, Orochimaru's body got torn in half and sucked in only to disappear. And Sasuke would watch as he would think to himself that he was literally terrified of that ninja, and Naruto killed him instantly. Like, Sasuke looks at Naruto's direction and would just think to himself, like, how strong is Naruto? Like, is Naruto stronger than my brother? Like, that's literally what Sasuke would be thinking to himself, right? And, you know, he just wonders how Naruto got that jutsu, right? Naruto would actually be asked by Sasuke, like, how did you obtain that power? And Naruto just looks at him and says that he was born with it. That when he turned 4 years old, he awakened it someday, and it's just one of those Kenge Genkais. That just like he has a Sharingan and nobody else is capable of using those jutsu that he has, Naruto has the abilities of those black holes, and he won't be able to copy that either. And Sasuke just thinks to himself, damn it, like, if only he had something like that, he would probably be capable of defeating his older brother Itachi, right? And ultimately what ends up happening because of this is we get a scene where they march towards the tower. Now, they make their way towards the tower of the Chunin exams, and what would pretty much end up happening is they're there early, right? So they're pretty much given rooms to rest in, and with this, they would kind of just spend the next 2 days resting until finally everybody else would arrive. Now, keep in mind, Sasuke hasn't gotten the curse mark, so he's not getting a taste of that power yet, but it's probably going to be happening later. But still, like, Sasuke hasn't gotten a taste of the curse mark, Sasuke hasn't unlocked the Sharingan,
oh my God,
and those are two very bad things for Sasuke, because Sasuke wants power, and now he's getting it even slower than he would have been in the original. So the second that Orochimaru comes back from the dead, Sasuke is taking that bait like a fish underwater, like a moth to a flame. Like, it's bad. But regardless, what pretty much ended up happening is Sasuke would be in the room and, you know, he would just be thinking to himself how weak he is. You know, he tries to train during these days and he would push himself hard. And what would end up happening is eventually everybody makes it, leading Hiruzen to have some preliminaries, as Naruto during these last 2 days was just having one thing on his mind, like secrets of the Hidden Leaf Village. Like Hiruzen knows what Naruto did when he was young, right? But now Naruto's confused by what he means. Like, he told him something about the Uchiha clan and how it's a dark secret. And Naruto wants to ask Hiruzen, but Naruto just thinks to himself, like, who is he to ask, like, to question the Hokage on what happened with them, right? But Naruto's thinking about it heavily because it's like, why would he bring that up and say the Hidden Leaf Village? So now Naruto's thinking that the village might have had something to do with it. And Naruto ends up actually asking Sasuke about the massacre of the Uchiha clan, right? He asks if he thinks that the village had anything to do with it. And when he asked that, Sasuke he's like, what? No, like, it was just my brother. Which would lead Naruto to be like, oh, alright, so it was in the village. So Naruto rests easy, but after Naruto asks him that, Sasuke is the one who starts thinking about it as well, where he's like, did the village have something to do with the death of my family? Like, did the village have some part in...
Game on. See ya.
State Farm agent is a small business owner too, so she helps him choose personalized policies that fit his budget. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Talk to an agent today.
Pardon it, like the village that forced like Itachi to do it or something like that, and that's what Sasuke would be thinking. But he would disregard that because it's like his brother's evil. Like there's no other option to that, right? Like his brother said he just wanted to test the limits of his strength, and you know Sasuke's now kind of like was it the village? But most of him is just telling him no, Itachi's scum, Itachi's garbage. Like it wasn't even the village. Like it had to have been like Itachi. Like it was all Itachi, and you know Sasuke just kind of pins it down to it was all Itachi, and there could be no other explanations. And so that's pretty much what Sasuke ended up going with, right? And Naruto versus Kiba would be the first battle up. Now Naruto, knowing Kiba, would not decide to use a killing-like attack, so Naruto takes it easy on Kiba, and instead of using some high-level Chunin like jutsu type of thing, Naruto simply rushes at Kiba and would pretty much end up grabbing, you know, grabbing Akamaru, right? He holds him hostage, where Akamaru is just in a hostage situation, and Naruto holds a kunai to Akamaru, chipping off some of his fur, as he looks to Kiba and tells him that unless he wants his dog to get it, he needs to quit the exams now. And Kiba's just forced to be like, I surrender. From here, you know, Kiba looks at Naruto and says, that was a dirty trick, Naruto. He's like, if you had any honor, you would have done something else other than that. And Naruto looks to Kiba and he's like, I had no other choice. It was either that or I most likely killed you. And Kiba would be like, what happened to you? Like, you were so different before you left for that year. And Naruto says that, you know, things change. And Kiba's like, yeah, obviously you did. As from here, Sasuke goes up, defeats his member, and all of the rest of the matches go down just like they would in canon. Naruto would feel some type of way between the battle between Hinata and Neji, but since he Hinata isn't even kind of nice to him, she kind of like is rude. Naruto doesn't say anything to Neji, and he simply thinks to himself that him versus Neji, it's just another fight. Naruto, continuing on forward, would pretty much end up having an entire month to train. And Naruto still is going to be the godson of Jiraiya, so when Jiraiya does end up arriving back at the village about a week into Naruto's training, Naruto would have just been creating some new black hole techniques, and when Jiraiya arrives and pretty much sought out Naruto, Naruto would be like, oh, so you're Jiraiya, like, I've heard stories about you, like, of course I'll train with you. And Naruto's just like, you're a bit pervy, but, you know, you're still a legendary Sannin. And so he still hears out Jiraiya, and he still actually learns the Rasengan way earlier than he does in canon. And Naruto learning the Rasengan would be something very interesting to him, because it's like, the Rasengan is, it's so strange. Like, Naruto would have never expected an attack like that to be a thing, but now Naruto's going to be able to use that in tandem with his black hole abilities to maybe create something like powerful, where he can create a sort of black hole Rasengan, right? Where it would be like if he hits you with the Rasengan, like you just get absorbed into it, like a close range black hole, right? Something like that. He's just thinking, I don't know, but basically, bottom line is Naruto is capable of, you know, getting a lot stronger, and he does learn the summoning jutsu from Jiraiya, which would also be another benefit that, you know, Naruto does get from training with Jiraiya. And what would end up happening because of this is Naruto would actually continue on getting stronger and stronger and stronger by the day. And during the time that he would actually be training during the exams, Naruto makes his way towards the, you know, the training area, right? And when Naruto's in the training area, he kind of is just wandering around as he sees this girl like picking flowers. Now Naruto would be like,
no,
still I set this thing up? And Ino just looks at Naruto, and, you know, she waves and smiles, and, you know, she kind of just looks away quickly as Naruto turns to Ino, and he would think to himself, like, what's she doing picking flowers? Until Naruto remembers, oh right, her family flower shop. And, you know, Ino would just continue looking at Naruto, and Naruto walks over there asking her, you know, like, what she's up to.
You don't take my room.
Ino's like, oh, you know, just picking some flowers, you know, for me, for my personal collection. And Naruto's like, that's pretty neat, like, are they special or something? And Ino just goes on a full ramble talking about flowers, with Naruto, like, not caring, but pretending to care, right? And from here, Ino then, like, looks at him and says, what are you doing? And Naruto says that he was coming over here to train. Ino says she should probably be doing some of that as well, considering she lost to Sakura. And Naruto says that she shouldn't be ashamed, that he was actually responsible for training Sakura up to that level. Ino would look at him and be like, really? So could you maybe do some of that for me? You know, and she starts using her you know, quote unquote feminine charm to rizz up Naruto, making him want to train her, right? And you know, Ino just kind of looks at the direction of Deku, and she would just like kind of start immediately like implying like, oh, you know, like if you help me, you know, I can help you out, you know what I mean? And Naruto's like I don't know what you mean by that, but like I'll help you. And you know, Naruto and Ino pretty much start training for an entire like five days, right? And during those 5 days, Naruto and Ino would actually get close to each other, where Naruto would feel comfortable enough to tell Ino about, you know, how the fact that he changed, you know, he hasn't really been the same since the day that he killed those 5 kids, right? And now that they're both ninjas, Ino would be like, that's heavy, but you shouldn't like judge yourself for that. Like you had no control over it. Like, let's say I mind transferred into somebody and then I never was able to get back into my body. That's not my fault. Like, I didn't know how to control the ability, you know what I mean? Like, let's say I killed somebody by accident with my powers, I wouldn't stop using it and like think that I can't use it ever again just because of that. Like, you have to learn, grow, and become stronger. You know, it's your trump card. And Naruto says that he knows that, but he still hasn't quite gotten over it. And you know, Ino, you know, she sits over him and she's like, oh, well, you should get over it. Like, it shouldn't define who you are that you killed people like when you were a kid. Like, now we're ninjas. Like, we do that all the time, and we have to learn to not let that hold us back. Like, we live in that kind of world, and it's either be killed or get killed out here. And Naruto thinks about that, and you know, he kind of remembers how those kids, like, they were gonna kill him, so why should he feel bad for being the one who killed them, right? It was either them or him, and he made that choice. It wasn't an easy choice, but Naruto had to make that choice, right? And you know, Naruto starts thinking about that alongside Ino, and he would pretty much end up thanking her for that like low-key realization. As you know, Ino actually started liking Naruto during this time, and eventually we would find ourselves in the stadium as Naruto would be facing off against Neji. Now, Neji, who would actually be there, would pretty much just be in the ring, right? And he looks to Naruto with a cheesy smirk on his face as he says, "You should quit right now that you're up, right? Because now you're finally gonna be put in your place, Naruto. Like, it's your destiny to lose to me. I'm a prodigy and you're a nobody." As from here, Naruto says, "I'm not too sure about that." And you know, Neji immediately starts the battle off by trying to get closer to Naruto, but Naruto would create a black hole that would just keep like Neji at bay, where he like pulls Neji back so far that he's at the edge of the stadium, and even the people in the crowd would have actually gotten pulled slightly by that black hole, right? Or actually not heavily, but Naruto was able to turn it off so fast that, you know, they didn't get like dragged down into the stadium, right? And so what pretty much ends up happening is Neji would question what that ability is, right? And Naruto says not to worry about it, as Naruto would proceed to actually use a black hole on the ground to just drag Neji into the earth. And it's an ability that he actually worked with Ino, where she suggested it, like kind of like planting flowers. Couldn't he theoretically plant people? And Naruto found it so funny that he and Ino worked on it, and he literally planted Ino into the ground using a black hole to drag her into the earth, to like pretty much drive her into it and just keep her like stuck in it. And that's what he did to Neji. From here, he just looked at Neji and said, "Do you give up?" And like, keep in mind, Neji is in the earth, just unable to move completely. Like, he literally can't do a thing. So Neji just literally has to quit, because there's no if, and, or buts about it. Neji just lost. And from here, the proctor goes, "Naruto Uzumaki is the winner." As you just hear one person cheering in the stands, and it's Ino, and she'd be like, "You go, Naruto!" We pick up our story in the perspective of Naruto after he had just won his match. Things are going phenomenally for my boy, because everything is just going great. Ino doesn't like think that she's a monster, and if anything, Ino being around for Naruto is making him get over that feeling of like being scared when it comes to when he's using his black hole like ability. He is slowly starting to get over that sense of like fear that he has with it, and he's starting to actually think that it's a cool ability because of how many times Ino cheers for him, and just how much when Ino's on his mind, that feeling of, oh, like, I might kill, and those 5 kids just gets over it. Like, Ino was the one person who, and, you know, Ino just tells him that, you know, those kids deserved it at that point. You know, they picked on him, and Naruto didn't even mean to do it. So at the end of the day, it's no nobody's fault. And Naruto thinks, you know, like, yeah, that is true. Like, it is nobody's fault. You know, he's pretty happy about that. But regardless, what ends up happening after this is we get the iconic fight between Sasuke as well as, you know, Gaara, right? Now the battle would start, and everything plays out exactly like normal, with Sasuke piercing Gaara with his Chidori, and Gaara pretty much running away. Then a massive explosion occurring, and a bunch of different ninjas beginning to attack in different directions. Naruto, noticing something, realizes that Gaara's running off, as well as both Sand siblings, and Hiruzen is actually in the midst of getting attacked by the Hokage of the Sand Village, or so Naruto would think. Naruto would immediately create 3 mud clones that would chase after Gaara, and from here he would lunge over towards the direction of where Hiruzen's at the top. Here is where the ninjas that are on Orochimaru's side, the Sound 4, would create the unbreachable barrier. However, before Naruto can get inside, it would be up, and Naruto would just think to himself he doesn't have time for this. So it creates a mini black hole that would suck up that matter of that jutsu, and Naruto would create an opening. As you know, eventually that opening Naruto created would be sealed back up by the Sound 4, who would pump more chakra into it, and Naruto would be inside along with Hiruzen. And Orochimaru, just looking at Naruto, would think to himself that, you know, this is going to be a lot harder. So Orochimaru would start the battle off by looking at Hiruzen and saying, "You are quite the lucky fish having somebody like that in your village." As he turns to Hiruzen and says, "But for now, I will show you, Hiruzen, why you were wrong not to make me Kage, and I will finally get rid of the Leaf Village," right? Just telling Hiruzen a bunch of different stuff, and ultimately Hiruzen looks to Orochimaru and asks him why, right? Both of them would each be hindered by the fact that they each have a history with each other, but Naruto does not care. Like, Naruto sees Orochimaru as a massive threat, and before Orochimaru even gets the chance to whip out the coffins and try to do that situation where he summons this, the first and second Kage, Naruto's like, nope, not letting it happen. And so immediately Naruto turns to Orochimaru and would just say that he told him not to come back once again. And Orochimaru was just like, "You can't stop this," with Naruto saying, "I can." As from here, Naruto goes on a blitz towards the direction of Orochimaru, and Orochimaru, who would be stunned, would not be able to react, as Naruto would create a black hole Rasengan in his hand, midway running towards Orochimaru, which would actually begin to suck in both Hiruzen and Orochimaru. But since Naruto's more close to Orochimaru, it's pulling him closer way faster. And as such, Orochimaru would get hit with the Rasengan as it proceeds to tear Orochimaru up and suck him into it entirely, using the black flash Rasengan without the flash, obviously. So black Rasengan, which is just a black hole in his hand with the properties of the Rasengan, right? And it's really dope because Orochimaru literally got erased from existence. But you know, of course, he could come back because pieces of him were left behind by curse marks. And because of this, Orochimaru has some semblance of a chance of coming back. But because he pretty much dies, the Sound 4 would immediately retreat, and Hiruzen would just stand there utterly shocked at what Naruto just did. As we switch our perspectives over to the Naruto who chased after Gaara, and Naruto's not playing around. Like, Naruto's been an Anbu, so killing people who are trying to damage his village is not something that Naruto has never done before. As soon as he encounters Kankuro, and Kankuro would, you know, be like, "I'm not letting you get closer to Gaara," Naruto would say, like, "Who said I'm gonna let you pick?" And from here, Naruto creates a black hole behind Kankuro, which would suck in his puppets. And from here, Kankuro literally has no other way of fighting. There's no puppets, so, you know, he tries to, like, pretty much use his strings to make Naruto be the one that he controls, but Naruto's not having it, right? And he blitzes at Kankuro, knocks him out, and then rushes at Temari, as Temari whips out her fan and says that she wishes she didn't have to do this to such a cute guy. And Naruto looks to her, and he was actually about to hit her with the black hole and just straight get rid of her, but he's like, "You know what? You called me cute, I'm gonna let it slide." And from here, like, my bro just says, "Listen here, I'm gonna let you live." And he blitzes at her, and, you know, he hits her with a pretty powerful attack, and he would knock her out, right? And after this, he makes it to Gaara, which Gaara is already pretty much partially transformed, and Sasuke would be about to hit him with a, not a Rasengan, sorry, but a Chidori, right? Now, Sasuke trying to hit Gaara with a Chidori would be a lot harder because of the mere fact that this time around Sasuke's what's it called, Sharingan aren't exactly as developed as they would be in the original Chunin examples. I think that by this point they were already 2 Tomoe, but this time it would be 1 Tomoe and 2 Tomoe in the other eye. So Sasuke has a little bit of a harder time controlling the Chidori and all that stuff, and more chakra drain, he's less adept to the Chidori, but regardless, that's not the point. Naruto comes in and saves Sasuke, because I'm gonna be honest, Sasuke was gonna die if it wasn't for Naruto coming in. Black Hole yanks Sasuke away, Gaara misses and also begins getting yanked towards it as Naruto opens a black hole inside of Gaara, which just tears him apart. And Naruto looks to Sasuke as he would say that he had no idea what he was getting into. That, Gaara really could have torn him limb from limb. Sasuke looks at Naruto and says he didn't need saving. And Naruto says that from his perspective, it looked like he needed all of the saving in the world. In fact, maybe he actually needed the Hokage here to save him as well. And, Sasuke grits his teeth, thinking to himself if only he had more power. But seeing as Orochimaru won't be reappearing for a while, it's gonna be a little bit hard for that. And so since Orochimaru's not in the picture, Sasuke doesn't end up disappearing during the time skip. And because Orochimaru doesn't kill Hiruzen, there's not that much of an incentive to go after Tsunade as there was in the original. However, Jiraiya would still be tasked with it, and because Tsunade isn't approached by Orochimaru, she would not have actually been drinking that heavily, so she would be within reason. So when Naruto and Jiraiya go after Tsunade to try to get her to return to the village, she would actually pretty much need money to be persuaded. And so the village would offer that, and Tsunade would end up returning. Because Naruto this time around could not care less about being Kage, he really doesn't care when Tsunade disrespects the Kages, and he only does kind of flinch a bit when she disrespects Hiruzen, right? But ultimately what ends up happening is she makes her way back to the village, healing people, and eventually Naruto goes on a 3-year training trip with Jiraiya, in which Naruto would actually end up learning the abilities of Sage Mode and the Flying Raijin, and that's pretty much all he does. Oh wait, no, he would also create the Big Ball Rasengan, and he would also create a couple of new moves that would pretty much have a lot to do when it comes to the Black Hole, just a bunch of really, really, really cool moves that Naruto would have ended up just creating, just because it's why not, you know what I mean? And so what would end up pretty much happening is he would develop one where it's a black hole explosion, which would just it would expand and then suck everything out, it would start small, expand, and then explode. It's an exploding black hole that would be the size of Deidara's bomb if you really wanted to make it that big. Or he can downscale it so it doesn't really kill everybody, right? And there's also a different one that he would create that would be exactly like Chibaku Tensei, where it's he can create a small moon, but he could literally create a moon-sized thing if he truly wanted to, or even Earth-sized. His black holes are so powerful, he truly could form an entire new Earth with the things that are out in space, just the dirt particles and all that stuff. So Naruto, when I tell you guys that Naruto is broken, y'all better believe me, because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, there's not a single person in the Naruto storyline that is stopping Naruto with a black hole KK Genkai. Just listen to that. Black holes in general are the most OP thing ever. You can't escape them. Light can't escape them. They suck everything in. You have no choice. Obviously, I did have to downscale black holes, because if Naruto even opened a black hole that was the size of a speck of dirt, most normal, normally that would be enough to just destroy the Earth, I think. I'm not sure. But because, I need to downscale the ability and make it a KK Genkai, I didn't make it even a third as potent, right? It's not even 1/16 as potent if he, at the beginning, because if it was, he would have literally destroyed Earth. But,